Say something I want to hear.
You really don't want to hear what I got to say, so I don't want to really embarrass anybody. So keep my mouth closed and keep her walking in. That's about it.
Dennis Rodman is easily one of the most unusual, unforgettable characters in NBA history. But beyond the crazy hair, the piercings, and the wild outfits that made headlines, have you ever wondered who Dennis Rodman is? What was going on beneath all the shock value and bold antics? Dennis Rodman's story begins in Trenton, New Jersey. Born to Shirley and Philander Rodman Jr., an Air Force veteran who later served in the Vietnam War. But when Rodman was still young, his father left the family, moving to the Philippines and leaving behind a complicated legacy. By his father's count, Rodman had 26 or 28 siblings, though Dennis himself claimed to be the oldest of a staggering 47 kids. After his father's departure, life wasn't easy for the Rodman family. Shirley, his mother, worked up to 4 jobs at once just to keep things afloat. In his autobiography, Bad As I Wanna Be, Rodman had this to say about his dad: "I haven't seen him in over 30 years, so what's there to miss? Some man brought me into this world. That doesn't mean I have a father." He wouldn't reconnect with his dad until 2012, long after making a name for himself on and off the court.
Just weeks after the Chicago Bulls won the NBA title, Dennis planned to release his autobiography, Bad As I Wanna Be.
Rodman grew up with his 2 sisters, Deborah and Kim, in Oak Cliff, Dallas, one of the poorest communities in the city. He was given the nickname The Worm by his mother due to the way he wiggled when playing pinball. However, Rodman experienced emotions of loneliness when he was younger. His sisters were basketball stars in their own right. Deborah even brought home 2 national titles with Louisiana Tech, which he felt overshadowed by them. Rodman, who was only 5'6" as a freshman, was frequently benched or cut from high school basketball teams. He admitted that he was unable to even make a layup, which made him an improbable choice to become the NBA legend that he would eventually become. After high school, Dennis Rodman's journey took a surprising turn. He found himself working the night shift as a janitor at Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport. During this time, something remarkable happened. Rodman shot up from 5'11" to 6'7" practically overnight. Despite feeling awkward in his new body, he decided to give basketball another try. A family friend saw potential in Rodman and connected him with the coach at Cook County College in Gainesville, Texas. In just 1 semester there, Rodman put up impressive numbers, averaging 17.6 points and 13.3 rebounds per game, before he flunked out due to poor grades. But this wasn't the end of his basketball career. He transferred to Southeastern Oklahoma State University, where he truly shined. Rodman led the country in rebounding twice, and went on to become a 3-time NAIA All-American. During his 3 seasons, 1983 to 1986, he shot an amazing 637 from the field, and averaged an astounding 25.7 points and 15.7 rebounds per game. His team advanced to the NAIA playoffs in 1986, when he scored 46 points and pulled down 32 rebounds in a game that will go down in history as the team's highest ever national rating. He was invited to the esteemed Portsmouth Invitational Tournament, which serves as a showcase for NBA hopefuls, as a result of his outstanding performance. The Detroit Pistons took notice of him when he was voted the tournament's MVP. Rodman was drafted by the Detroit Pistons in 1986, joining the Bad Boys, a team renowned for its aggressive style of play under coach Chuck Daly. He contributed with tough defense and rebounding, helping the Pistons to multiple playoff runs. Despite some controversies, like his infamous comments about Larry Bird, Rodman was an integral part of the Pistons championship teams in 1989 and 1990. He won his first 2 NBA Defensive Player of the Year awards during this time, and began his streak of rebounding titles in the 1991 to 1992 season, where he averaged 18.7 rebounds per game. Rodman struggled with personal challenges, including his divorce and mental health issues, culminating in a turning point in his life in 1993. He demanded a trade and was moved to the San Antonio Spurs.
Detroit's baddest bad boy is now a Spur. The Pistons, trying for a year now to dump Dennis Rodman and his personality, have done it.
Rodman continued his dominance with the Spurs, winning his 3rd and 4th consecutive rebounding titles. He made headlines for his eccentric behavior, including his colorful hairstyles and infamous headbutts. Although the Spurs had regular season success, they fell short in the playoffs, and Rodman's clashes with the coaching staff and management were well publicized. His relationship with the Spurs ended after the 1994 to 1995 season. Rodman joined Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen on the Chicago Bulls in 1995, a team that had a massive void at power forward. His addition proved vital to the Bulls' success, particularly with his ability to rebound and defend. Rodman won 3 consecutive NBA championships with the Bulls, 1996, 1997, and 1998, solidifying his legacy. He grabbed 20 or more rebounds in several key games during these championship runs, including a memorable performance in the 1996 NBA Finals. Despite frequent suspensions and off-court antics, Rodman was a crucial figure in the Bulls' second three-peat. After leaving the Bulls in 1999, Rodman briefly joined the Los Angeles Lakers and then the Dallas Mavericks. After retiring in 2000, he struggled to find a sense of purpose. He even claimed that there were bets in Las Vegas about when he would die, underscoring the dangerous path he was on. An attempted NBA comeback in 2003 fell apart after a motorcycle crash in Las Vegas left him injured, dashing any hopes of returning to the sport. However, by this stage in his career, his erratic behavior overshadowed his on-court contributions, leading to short stints with both teams before he eventually left the NBA. Rodman's offensive game wasn't as strong. Early in his career, he managed 11.6 points per game, but that number dropped over time. During his 3 championship runs with the Bulls, he averaged just 5 points a game and struggled with his free throw shooting, which was often seen as a major weakness. One memorable moment came in 1997 when the Dallas Mavericks' Bubba Wells intentionally fouled Rodman 6 times in just 3 minutes, hoping to exploit his poor free throw shooting. The tactic backfired, as Rodman surprisingly hit 9 out of 12 shots. In 14 seasons,
laughing. Now Dennis is 2 for 4. Steve Kerr will check into the game. I've never seen this. I mean, I saw it with
Rodman played in 911 games, scoring 6,683 points and pulling down 11,954 rebounds. That's 7.3 points and 13.1 rebounds per game in an average of just 31.7 minutes on the court. The NBA recognized him as arguably the best rebounding forward in history, and despite his eccentric personality, his contributions to the game were impossible to ignore. He was a 5-time NBA champion, a 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, and a 7-time rebounding champion. He also made 7 NBA All-Defensive First Teams and appeared in 2 All-Star games. But Rodman wasn't just known for his skills on the court. His ever-changing hair colors, tattoos, piercings, and headline-grabbing lifestyle made him one of the most intriguing and controversial figures in sports. He frequently clashed with officials, was ejected from games, and lived a private life that was anything but private. Alcohol played a major role in his difficulties, as did repeated brushes with the law. Rodman's battle with alcohol became more apparent over the years. In May 2008, he entered an outpatient rehab center, but his troubles were far from over. During his appearance on Celebrity Apprentice in 2009, his erratic behavior prompted an intervention involving his former coach, Phil Jackson, and family members. That same year, he agreed to participate in the 3rd season of Celebrity Rehab with Dr. Drew, followed by a stint in a sober living facility. Despite his attempts to get sober, Rodman's struggles persisted, and he was removed from a restaurant in 2010 due to disruptive behavior. His financial advisor admitted in 2012 that Rodman's alcoholism had significantly impacted his ability to work. Rodman also faced legal troubles throughout his life. He was taken into custody on several occasions for offenses including driving while intoxicated, domestic abuse, and public intoxication. He was detained for driving under the influence once more in 2018 after being charged with a hit-and-run incident in 2016. Rodman maintained a turbulent lifestyle despite his repeated run-ins with the law, which resulted in several arrests for a variety of crimes, including the theft of goods from a yoga studio. He fell victim to fraud as well. Peggy Ann Fulford, a professional con artist who took millions from players like Rodman, cost him more than $1.24 million. Rodman had severe financial difficulties as a result of the scam, which made it more difficult for him to meet his child support obligations. Notwithstanding the difficulties, figures like Phil Jackson have attempted to step in and expressed concern for Rodman's welfare. Rodman found great solace in Jackson's statement that he feared his way of life would ultimately take him down. In his later years, Rodman appears to be taking a closer look at his life, sharing more details about his difficulties and expressing a desire to atone, though it's not always apparent how he intends to do so. Despite all the drama, his place in NBA history is secure. He was ranked 48th on Slam Magazine's Top 50 Players of All Time in 2009, and in 2021, The Athletic named him the 62nd greatest player of all time in their NBA 75th anniversary list. Even fellow player Meta World Peace paid homage to Rodman, wearing the number 91 for a season in recognition of his hustle and tenacity on the court, though he was quick to note he wasn't a fan of Rodman's infamous kick to a cameraman.